Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Happy Friday. Hey,
yeah, Friday. It's the only way I can tell what day of the week it is. It's the lives, or else I don't even care what day it is.
I know.
You don't really?
Why you care? What's the difference? Monday or Sunday, or what's the difference?
Really not much, I guess.
So hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody top shape?
Top shape. What does that mean?
Hello, Joseph. Melissa. Oh, our friend
Hey,
Byron.
Hi, Byron. Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
Oh my gosh, yes. You guys are feeling it. Hello.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, we always take recommendations. You can give us your suggestions anytime.
Pop them in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
From where is everyone watching from? We love seeing where everyone is watching from. What's the weather like? What did you do this week? What did you cook this week? What did you drink this week? What are your plans for the weekend? What would you like us to do next month? Maybe you can give us your suggestions.
Yeah, we would love to hear that.
We do have Easter coming up, right? So we will do some Easter stuff for sure. Because Easter is really early this year.
Yeah, April.
It's a fun holiday. It's a fun cooking holiday.
Hi, Italy. Hi, nice.
Oh.
South Carolina, Northern Indiana, cold and snowy. New Jersey. Do you still have snow imps?
Yeah, it's snowing right now.
Is it?
Yeah. It's summer in Australia. They're boiling there, yes.
Boiling hot.
Philippines must be pretty good too, Anne. Is that not wrong button? This one here, tin. in the Philippines. And then, and I know Montreal is not boiling.
Las Vegas, 40 this morning.
Oh, that's chilly. Yeah.
That's kind of chilly, but it's nice. I'm not gonna rub it in.
Yes, really nice. Even if it's cold, I'm feeling for the people of Texas and that area that are just not made for this. Like, you know, their houses and their homes and everything is not
existing and everything. Yeah, it's not. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're used to it.
55 degrees.
We're kind of, right? Like, I mean, it takes a lot to throw us off with regards to extreme weather.
Cold. Oh, hi, Bucks, PA. That's where I used to live.
Are you feeling homesick? So today, normally two of us decorate, and Amber's manning the controls today, and Hans gonna kick it off.
Yes, today we are going to. Should I move over? Are we ready to decorate, or?
Well, here, let me put you in. Your hands aren't. Where's the camera? Wait a second. Here it is. There it is.
Something. All right. So let me see. Okay. So my hand is here. So I'm moving over. Buster is going to.
Oh.
Oh wow! Great.
Watching closely. So make sure you behave.
I'm still waiting for the cookie, Buster cookie.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Be patient. All right, so guys, today I want to show you something that I wanted to try for a long time. A couple of years ago, I think Amber, you made cookies with Parchment. Remember, you cut up strips.
Yeah.
Her placed strips of parchment paper over her freshly iced cookies. And then a couple of years ago, I used the parchment to create a concrete technique or design. And then a few weeks ago, I don't know who started this trend. I saw someone using parchment to create this texture on cookies, and I thought cupcakes are a perfect candidate. You can create a really cool cupcake liner look with it. So to do this, you need parchment paper. I haven't tried it with wax paper. I would assume wax paper is a bit thin for this to work, for you to fold it like this.
Might not hold that shape.
So, it may not hold the shape as well as parchment. This is just unbleached parchment. It's very lightly coated, but nothing special. And I just basically folded the parchment. Let me get a fresh piece.
Does anybody know what they coat parchment paper with? I think it's
a silicone. I believe it's a silicone.
Really?
Oh.
I believe it's obviously food grade. I believe, I don't know, somebody can maybe look it up, but I think it is a silicone, some type of a silicone. So I basically just
So like in elementary school when we'd make a little fan. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah. Like when you make a little fan. When you're doing the cupcake liners, ideally you want to make these sections as narrow as possible, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So, and then you're just going to continue all, until you're done with all the paper. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I'm sure you can.
Thank you, Jenny.
You can do that. So I've got a couple of them here already. Some of them, you see, this is a pretty large fan here. Some of them are a bit more finer, and I'm going to show you why I do prefer them finer when I was doing this a few days ago. So I'll show you some samples. And this one. The reason why you want them to be on a shorter side is that for the cupcake liner to be, to have a look of a cupcake liner, you want to be able to push the icing so it touches both sides. So if this is too long, you will have to add a lot of icing on the cookie in order for all the sides to be covered. Otherwise, you will experience this. You see, I mean, not that it's not nice looking, but
I see what you're saying.
some of the sections there, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I was wondering this too. Can you use a real cupcake liner and just like cut it and flatten it out for
That's a good idea. I have not even thought of that. I think you could. Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
Now I'm gonna
try
try that. I think it would work because you use that with chocolate and it peels off right away. So I think it would work with royal icing.
But,
That's an excellent
but if
idea.
I can just comment, the cupcake liner is round. So if you were to trim, you'd end up with a crescent. You wouldn't end up with a rectangle. You'd end up with like a.
Oh, I see what you mean. You would have. It could still work. I mean, we would have. I think ideally you would want to get a size up.
Yeah.
They do sell larger cupcake liners, so you would need to get larger size of those, and then it would work. But I think Marlon is right because they can be pretty short. All right, so I'm gonna show you the polka dot I did. So we're going to start with. Oh, see, my icing is already separating, and I mixed it. Maybe I'll do red instead, because it seems like I have more red than blue. And I did several designs. I was testing it here. This would be up your alley, Amber, doing the roses. You see, like I was testing it on a parchment, not on a parchment, on the wax paper. And as far as the drying time, I didn't find that it needed excessive time to dry. I thought it was fairly quick, I have to say. Like a regular drying time overnight, and then you're able to peel it off. So I'm cutting the tipless bag. As always, I like to find a seam on the bag and then cut straight across. Can you see okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Your cookies are a nice golden brown.
Golden brown. All right, so I'm going to. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to tell you. When using this technique, so I tried using it on these two cupcakes, and on this one, I used the technique before I applied the top. On this one, I decorated the top, and then I tried to use the parchment. So I find that it's a bit harder when you already have an icing next to it to make it work. So I would start with the cupcakes. I would start with a liner first and then do your top. Okay, so now we can start with the cookie. And if you hear any bizarre construction noises, it is because we are still in a construction zone. Yeah. So you may hear some drilling, but I think they stopped for now.
Hi, Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy is here.
Yep.
Hello, Jay. All right, so now I'm going to go in with white. Oh.
Amy wants to see the flower design. Can you do that one too?
Sure. And
this is flood consistency, right?
Yes.
Like
this is flood consistency. For this, you can. I tried both. I thought the 15 is going to overflow. It was fine. Hopefully, it's not going to overflow now. I'm just going to trim this piece a little bit. I'm going to trim it.
I've never seen brown parchment paper.
Oh, no?
No.
Yeah, sometimes it's just unbleached parchment you can find in the store.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So you want to very gently like tap it, like so. And now you see how certain, like how wet it is in certain areas, and then the tops are not. You actually have to help the icing go up.
Okay.
That's why I think it works better when the fan is on a finer side. You know what I mean? Like when it's.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have less triangle to fill.
You don't feel like touching the cookie, like I'm going down gently, obviously. You don't be too rough with it.
You need the icing to bump out into the triangle.
Yes, exactly, all the way to the top. I mean, as much as you can. Obviously, on the ends here, it's kind of hard, and you probably don't want to do that because then it will extend to the area next to it, which we're going to decorate later.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you're going to put on a tray and let it dry. Okay. So I've got one already here. This is the polka dot that I did a couple days ago, and it's blue with white polka dot. So
how hard was it to wait to peel it off?
What?
I said, how hard was it to wait to not peel it off until the live?
It was very hard, but well, I did another batch for my Patreon patrons, so I will have a full tutorial on this, all the details there. But you saw I was like peeling it off like crazy on the other one because I wanted to see. It literally like it's because I pushed it down with my scribe. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, it's almost like stuck in there. So you have to. You see how pretty that is. And I also found out I don't have my zester here. But remember last week I was asking whether you can actually use a zester or microplane zester to shape the icing. You can. So you can see from this side, probably you'll see it better. It's not too bad, but if you have any bits that are sticking out, you can use a zester, you know, microplane zester that we use to shape the cookies if they are misshaped. So you can also use it on icing. All right, so Amy wanted, or I'll show you, this design. Let's see. You can choose either this design or the flower design. Okay, so this is actually a design that I did because a couple years ago I used liners like this. With can you see?
Cool. Yeah.
It's very similar, I think, to what Marlene did when she first. Remember, you did the flip flops.
Yeah, that was like ages. That was like the first video I ever uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah. It's like a cherry tree, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying different designs and wanted to see which one would work or not. So I think polka dot works, obviously. I think this works as well. The only one that I was kind of skeptical, and I think I'm right about that, it's this.
Yeah.
Because
so
I think
these are like stripes.
Yeah, these are stripes, but because you have so little control over, you would have to be, you know, like surgically precise.
Right.
And what if you pipe the stripes on your parchment paper in the crack?
Oh, you mean, well, you would have to do it. Oh, you mean like here. Oh, you're talking, Mrs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe we can try that today, and then next week I'll show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because you know what I mean. Like I really like the look of the stripes on the liner, but it's like all over the place.
Right.
All right, so I'm going to. Oh, and I did another design, and this was supposed to be a leopard print. So I don't know if this actually comes through as leopard print, but just gives you an idea what you can do with this.
If you're just arriving and you're missing what Han is explaining, you can rewatch the live after it's done. They're saved on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can rewatch.
This is a different shape I did. I'm loving this design. I have to say, I have to try this on a gingerbread house. I was even thinking, because I've done these as transfers. So imagine this. Oops. Like it breaks apart here. But imagine you could probably do this as a curtain on your gingerbread house.
Oh, that would be so cute.
You know, like there are so many options. Put a little ribbon across.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I have already like all these ideas in my head. This was another shape that I wanted to try, and this is a heart shape. So I think it's so satisfying when it's being peeled off.
Mm-hmm.
And this you can, it's, oh, another shape I see. Maybe hearts would work. Like, no, maybe if we do hearts, maybe it would also transfer. And then you can probably fill this with a different color. You know, just it gives you like an interesting design. You could use this also for a skirt, I think, but you need to fold it differently. You have to work on the folding technique. Fold it a little differently so it's more angled. So Amy wanted the flower, right?
Yeah, let's see the flowers.
All right, so flowers, we are going to, what colors did I use? Blue, okay, so.
Oh, that was, yeah, I love that idea. I mean, 4th of July pinwheels.
Oh yeah, that would be, oh yeah, that would be cool. But I mean, it's, I have to say, it does take a little bit of time to fold the paper parchment. We had a 5-minute break and I only folded 3.
Well,
during the first 5
pretty
minutes.
good time, I think. 3 and 5 minutes is not bad. Some people are asking, can you reuse the parchment paper?
Yes, you actually, I mean, I think you actually can. I mean, I kind of, you know, scrambled this, but this one was used, and look, like you can, you can fold it back up and you can reuse it. Yep. But
there's actually a contraption in the paper, people who craft with paper that pleats like that. It's like you run it through and you crank it out and it comes out like that.
Oh, there's a machine for it?
Yeah, they like when they do their pleated certain things, you know?
Yeah.
I was watching, there are different techniques how you can fold the paper. I mean, it's quite time consuming, but I mean, imagine having that transferred on royal icing. It would be really cool. Another thing that surprised me about these techniques, there are not a lot of air bubbles, which is nice. There is very seldom any air bubble. Maybe because it's piped and not dipped like I did with my concrete technique. All right, so for the flowers, I'm going to use actually blue for the base. Then we will use dark, this is kind of like a pinkish red, a little bit of white for the highlight. And I have this light.
And why don't you show the one you're doing now, the completed one again, so that they can see what you're going to be doing? Because you can't take off the paper after. Just show it. Do you have it there?
Yes. All right.
Just show it quickly.
Kara.
So we're going to, I'm going to attempt to, hopefully this is going to look good.
No, I meant the one that's already open. Save that one for after for the reveal. No?
I have another one. What do you think I'm doing? I've been playing with this all week. It's so fun. All right, so I have another one here. So it really
oh my gosh.
I was really having fun with this. Like anyone watching, try this. It's so, it's like, you know. Oh, I can get it out. I can get it out.
There you go.
All right, so here we go. So see here, I mean, it like looks still pretty cool, I think, but here I didn't push hard enough for the icing to go all the way to the top. Not that, I mean, if you are OCD, it will bother you. I think it still looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a little hole here. You can probably, I don't know, use thick icing and cover it up. But like I said, it's just the perfectionist in me. And this side could be shaped off a little bit. Okay. These are not going to be fancy roses like somebody else does on the call, but they will be what I think. I'm referring to Amber. She's like,
it is royal icing.
Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Esther's asking royal icing. No, she was saying they're not going to make fancy roses like someone else on the call, which
that's me.
That's you, yes, that's you, obviously. All right. And this
Karen just got here and she says you're looking a little different today. So I guess she's referring to the penguin in the frame there, Han.
Oh, I do. Yes, I had a plastic surgery. Yes, yes, that's a penguin. You know, Benedict. What's his name? Benedict. He's an actor. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, I'm going to attempt his last name.
So he did a narration for a documentary, and he couldn't pronounce penguin. But am I saying it right now? I'm feeling like I'm not saying it right. And it was hilarious throughout the whole documentary. And I was surprised that nobody told him he's pronouncing it funny. So yeah, penguin. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Angela suggested it would be a cute technique for, you know, the umbrella in a drink.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna. Oops, I need to cut this.
I think he was saying ping. Valerie's saying he was saying ping wings. Is that it? Ping wings?
I think yes, I think so. I watch Graham Norton's show. So he was on a show I think years ago, and it's one of the best shows to watch. I think talk shows. It's the best.
No, it's cookie lunch break.
What? Oh, okay.
Never mind.
Yes. Okay, I was slow. Okay, Friday. What do you want from me? Yes, cookie. Yes. That is okay. All right. So we're just going to swirl it. Okay. I think my white is really water. You can't even see that it's white.
It was parchment paper that she was using to make the pleats. Oh, hi, Olive.
Oh,
Olive is there. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Olive. Are you making cookies?
No, she's at, next door, not here. It's not a cookie day.
Well, maybe she could be making chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, that's true. They like to do crafts.
Oh
yeah?
Yes. Your mom paints, right? So I guess there's a whole other genre.
Okay. You know what we say, what happens at grandma stays at grandma. So. So now I'm going to attempt to add some dots. So I'm going to kind of find my bearings. Okay. Just in the areas here, like I'm trying to make it somewhat symmetrical, but sometimes it's hard. And like I said, my white, for some reason, it's a bit watery. I don't know why, what happened.
Maybe it's separated?
Yeah, I think it's a little separated, but I just mixed it. I mean, literally, we were talking with Mar before, and I mixed it before.
Oh.
That's really not long before it turned.
Yeah. I wonder, if it's the sugar I'm using here or something. You see how this section is rather, it's empty. So this is what I'm doing. I'm pushing it down a little bit.
Move your hand, the other, move the other hand.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I'm going to go through here. You can see.
Yeah, so this is parchment paper for those wondering.
But I really have to try what Mara suggested, piping it into the crevices, into the creases, and then putting it on. I wonder if that would work. Now you can look like this underneath there to see if you see what it looks like, and then if you're happy, just leave it be. If you attempt to peel it off too early, the section starts to break off. It's not dry. So I would like I said, overnight is probably the best idea to let it dry overnight. So this is rock hard.
Do you think that biting into this kind of point could, you know what I'm saying? Like it would be a little bit.
well, don't bite it.
Oh, what? What are you supposed to do?
If it would hurt your teeth.
The roof of your mouth, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying.
How exactly do you eat the cookies? What are you suggesting, that I bite it?
I'm just saying that normally there aren't spikes sticking out your cookie. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to bite one cookie, the one that I like the least, this one.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know the number 911 in Spain.
Try it once, well, just in case. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh yeah, June is saying it's not worse than biting into a rose.
No, it's fine. I'm sorry. What did June say?
She said it's no worse than biting into a rose pipe.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think it was fine. I mean, remember, these are a little stale, so they didn't taste very well. My dedication is beyond. All right, so once you are done, like I said, do you want me to show you how to shave this off? I can grab my
Have it handy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go get it. You can entertain.
We got a super sticker from Jewel. Thank you, Grandma.
Oh, thank you. I noticed here, this is a star here on Facebook when there's no comment.
Is that what happened?
So thank you, Anne, and I'm pretty sure this is here. Thank you. And then
Thank you.
down here, there's no comment. Thank
you.
Here.
Thank you, Kathy.
And we're so this is we forgot to mention, but these are the stars. I think some of them are for last week, but nonetheless, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's like our little tip jar. Stars on Facebook and super chat on YouTube.
All right, so back to this is my handy, and I'm sure many of you, or if you don't have this tool, this is not only great for cookies, but also for chocolate, for shaving Parmesan cheese on your spaghetti, or when you're shaving off cookies when they are a little misshaped. It's great for square cookies when you want your corners to be super sharp. And it also...
It's not an expensive gadget either. It's very affordable. Like, there's some stuff that's expensive. That's not...
Thank you, Julie.
Which way I can do it so you can see? I mean, it's pretty awkward.
Well, there you go.
You can see, like, the icing is on the side here. Sorry, I'm hitting my camera.
It's all right. There was a question earlier about, I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I thought this might be a good idea. What if you flip it over and let it dry upside down, and then so that the icing kind of gets into those creases?
Yeah, but then how do you let it dry so it doesn't get? You think it wouldn't get? Like, I'm gonna try it with the one we did.
Yeah.
Which one did we do? Oh, let me see. I wonder.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. The thing, I don't think
like this. You mean the gravity would go in? Okay, so I'll do another one. I'll do another one with this design, and I'm gonna flip it over to see what happens.
Because I think maybe the points would kind of hold it up so that.
Yeah, I think it's sturdy enough, so that would actually that would probably.
Amy says it
I don't know if it would fall into all the we'll
try.
I'm gonna try. I'll see, and next week I'll report.
Is that green from some St. Patrick's Day projects, or did you make that just for look St. Patrick-ish?
No, I haven't done anything. I have not done anything for St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if I will have time. I have to come clean. I finished the second batch or second box of rainbow bells. It's terrible.
You keep eating the candies that you buy for your St. Patrick's Day.
Terrible. I bought it. The second one, I bought it for St. Patrick's Day. I had this grand idea of using it, and I just keep going in. There's one belt left. So So I think it's a waste to use it on a cookie. I'm just gonna eat it, obviously.
Well, you put it on the cookie, then once you're done taking your pictures, you peel it off and eat it.
Yeah, these are all like, it's weird. I don't know why they separated. So I have to remix it. You see, I don't know if you can see the separation. It's like it looks kind of like a mirror. You see the greener sections, so that you can tell the icing is separated.
How does it dry though? Is it fine? Did you see?
It does dry. It just, I feel like it's not behaving the way I want it to behave.
Mm.
You know? I mean, it's staying on the cookie, like it's not dripping off. So I mean, it looks like
okay. Let's not go there because it will start dripping off.
Okay, I won't. Okay, yeah.
You're jinxing it.
No, but I know what you mean. Like, I think if I went even closer to the edge, it would be.
June's waiting on cookie cutters.
All right, so now I'm going to like shape it a little bit. You can also drag it through to create more branches.
Karen, I think you're probably referring, yes, to the airbrush. I haven't picked it up again, but I plan on doing it next week, and I'm gonna make like a whole video tutorial for YouTube with my new airbrush.
But were you pleased?
Yeah, I love it.
Are you going to continue using it?
Definitely, yeah.
Sally, a cupcake cutter.
What airbrush do you like? So I just used an airbrush for the first time last week. I used the airbrush from True Color. So that's the only one I've used. So I don't really know if there's a better one, or Mar, do you have any?
I've got several just to try them. And I think that if you're just like a hobby baker, you really can't go wrong like with even the really inexpensive ones on Amazon. I have a few in my Facebook. There's an album I put all like tools in on Facebook. And the wireless ones, I put like models, they all do the job. I mean, it, depends your level of how, if you're just doing like shading and stuff, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars that I've seen.
No, it's happening.
Oh no, sorry.
Yes, it is happening.
That's my fault.
Yes, you jinxed it. It's okay. My icing is watery. So you see, you think you struggle with consistency, and I just mixed this.
No, it happens to me too. It's like, yeah.
Then suddenly I was just mixing it in a bag when we were talking with Mar before we went live, and it went watery on me. So yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
Was it in the sun? Just wondering, like, is it hot?
I think so. I left the shade open, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done it. Maybe that's also the reason.
Mm.
It could be, right? The sun, the sugar.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So I'm gonna place this over, and I'm just going to turn it upside down then.
I mean, this makes like cookies more like arts and crafts. Like you're right. It gives it another level of like, kind of finicky, like, to play with.
So I'm going to, okay, let's see. Oh no, it looks, okay, there's few sections. Should I just leave it drying like that or not? Or should I just see if it works? Like here, this section, it's not getting in there. So should I leave it upside down and see, or should I help it?
Why don't we do an experiment with this one and just leave it upside down?
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it upside down. I'm putting it on a tray here.
Jeremy's here.
Hello.
Say hello.
Right, so
He's maybe unusually quiet.
he's very quiet. Very quiet. Next step for you would be to decorate the top. Now I used the edible marker. You can't really see. Can you see? I used yellow marker instead of black because the yellow doesn't show as much. Sometimes black can bleed into the light colors, and it can actually bleed through the icing. So if you can use either brown or yellow, it's very seldom used, I think, on icing. So if you buy set of food edible markers, you can, you probably are not going to use yellow for a lot of things, so you can you can use it for the outlines. I have all 4 Facebook feeds open. Okay. You don't have to overdo it, Jeremy. But that's very sweet. All right, so what I did, you see these zigzag lines here? These are for the support. So I don't have the cratering in my icing, especially if I'm using thinner icing. Sometimes in small sections, cratering is basically when your icing like kind of sinks and you have a dent. There are different levels of cratering. You will have a dent, then you will have like a what's it called? What is it? Yes. And then you will end up having an actual hole in icing, like a sinkhole almost, right? Like, so we want to avoid those. And this little line, it's like a support line. So when you pipe icing on top of it, it's going to keep the icing from falling in. And then these are all individual sections. So you want to pipe, like I already started here, so I can pipe this section and this section next to it, but then I have to wait for this section to press before I pipe section below it. So there is some definition.
I don't think she did, Amy. So the bottom there, your triangles, you know, the bottom of your cookie hand, like it's kind of like, you know, angled up, that you didn't sand that down. It just, that's how it dried.
This one? I think
the bottom of your cupcake. This? You know, like those, no, on the icing, you know, like it looks like triangles kind of going up. Do you see what I'm saying? No?
This?
Yeah, at the top and bottom.
So this is just the natural way it dries on all of them. On all of them. Some of them, when you push the icing all the way to the triangle, to this section, right? Push it all the way to the edge. It creates this nice
little triangle.
A little triangle. If you don't push it all the way to the edge, then the triangle is bigger, and it will get bigger and bigger. And like you see here, it extends all the way to the like half of the.
Makes like a pyramid.
Yes. But here you can actually see the cookie. You see how I literally like pressed hard each one so it would go up. Okay, how are we with the time?
Well, you're at 45.
Okay, so we can. I think I can wrap it up. I wanted to mainly show the.
Well, everybody's digging it, so don't worry about it.
Lots of good ideas for this technique.
Yeah, I'm loving all the feedback. The liner idea, I have to try that with what Mar suggested. Well, that wasn't. Was that your idea?
No, it was somebody in the feed, but I was just saying that it probably wouldn't be a rectangle.
Okay. Do we have? All right. Those of you just joining us, this is going to be the wrap for this technique. Ta-da!
So that dried for how long, Han?
8 hours. But I have to say, I don't always recommend drying in the oven, but because I'm not sure why icing takes really long time to dry here. I don't have any fans here, so my oven is at 30 degrees of Celsius. What is it in Fahrenheit? It's very low temperature. So, and it has a fan, so I put it in for about an hour, I have to say, and then I let it air dry. I did that just to speed up the process because it would probably take days, I think, because it is very, I don't know why it's not drying here. It's not like it's humid or anything, but I think the fans really help.
Yeah.
If you are not using a fan, invest in one, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. Like your cookies will crust faster. You will not have as much bleeding, I believe, because faster it dries, less bleeding. Yeah, so that's what I did, but I would say overnight. The other ones I didn't put in, and overnight it was fine. The ones I had for my patrons.
I think it might be your sugar.
It could be sugar. Here's sugar. I found a brand that I like. It's an actually UK brand, and I have to add cornstarch to it, because I think the ratio in US, the ratio of powdered sugar to when you buy powdered sugar, there is powdered sugar and there is cornstarch in it to prevent caking or lumping.
Mm-hmm.
But this sugar, it's all like there are lumps like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Although it says there is some starch, I feel like it's not enough, because the icing, no matter how much icing I add, it's not going to the stiff peak.
Okay.
So I figured cornstarch, it's going to help with thickening it up and also getting it to the stiff peak.
That's the trick. You know, we're all like in different parts of the world, as the viewers included. And so you're working with all different ingredients trying to achieve the same result, which is near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to contend with what your local ingredients do. I mean, you don't have much of an option. Hannah's using her needle tool to press in the accordion into the icing. And she didn't buy that paper already pleated. She pleated it herself.
Yes. Yes, I did it just, when you get bored, I mean, it's coronavirus. What else have you got to do? You can have your kids do it. Watching the movie,
layers of it and make a Christmas tree. Like you.
Oh yeah.
It would be so fun, because imagine like doing this on sections. You don't have to. You could do a dress this way. You could do like a portion of a dress, which will create a really nice detail. I'm just going to see if I can find ways of folding the paper more creatively, and maybe use that on icing so it would be shaped, like almost like you are molding it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. All right, so this is my tutorial for today, and now we are going back to Marlene, and Marlene is going to show you.
Oh, well, hold on. Let me just say a quick thank you. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Lolita. Thank you to everyone who's sending stars to us today, and there was a few super chats. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you
very much. So today, I'm going to take hands out of the stream. And then here, I don't know how it's going to work. I tried to connect my iPad to the,
you can take
the feed, but it wouldn't recognize the, there's no option for share screen, like the, share off my computer, but I can't. So I had mentioned on Tuesday that I would talk about designing. So this is my iPad, and that's a photo of the cookie. It's a little dark there, but I usually draw right on the cookie. I use a pencil, an Apple Pencil. You can use any kind of tablet. Obviously, you could draw with paper, but I do like this because you can quickly layer, flip. If you're trying to do something symmetrical, you get your design flipped very easily. So the way that it works, if you've never used it, you're able to create layers. So I can draw on top of that egg, so that it's here. I'm going to add the design here, and then I can take away the egg, and then I'm left with white. So you're drawing on the cookie, but you can take it away and have this very clean, finished template. So and I do like this more than drawing on paper. Like I say, you can draw, like I drew it, I cut it in half, and then just flipped it over. So I get this very symmetrical design. The other thing I just wanted to mention, sometimes we find, you want to be original, but sometimes you find stuff online that does the job. So I did find this online, and you can
Oh,
use
it's so cute.
this is a kid's coloring
Is
thing.
that bunny? Is that bunny?
It is.
Bunny. It is so cute. I always admire how you do this because I need to learn how to do this because it's
So I'm working upside down, so it's a bit tricky for me, but you can, let me go back here. So now you can take, where's my, I'm having trouble because I'm literally upside down trying to work. Okay. So you can place it on, and I made it transparent. You see, so I'm placing it on my cookie. I'm able to see. And then there's a feature where you can actually go in and like nudge certain aspects of it. So now I've got it there, and I can create a new layer on top, this one here. And when I draw, I can, you know, change the design, but use some of it, you know what I mean? Like to kind of gauge how I'm going to draw my version.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can, here I'll put these little paws, you know, instead. I don't really want like that little belly thing that he's got there going. And you can, if you want, you can switch out add the little bunny teeth if you want, you know, and you can.
We do have a question. Cynthia is asking, what program or what app is it?
This is Procreate.
Procreate.
There are others that are less expensive, but this one is quite good. It's not that, it's I think $30, so it's not really crazy.
Oh, I think look in the comments, Ames. So I think you have you know, I don't know if people watching on Amber's page can still view.
Oh,
feed.
I'm looking, it's saying it's still streaming there.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so worst case, well, they can't hear even if I'm talking, if it's not streaming. Okay, so now I've got the finished design. I can take away my egg, and I've got the finished version that I like. And so then I can save that and send it to my computer. And I'm just gonna take this off now. Here, let me take this out. And I'll do, where's my...
Amber's page is working, by the way.
Okay,
so
thank you, everybody, for letting us know.
Share here. I'm gonna, application window. Is it open? Where's my...
Yeah, I have to get the pen. I don't have the pen. Do you have the pen, Ems?
I do.
No,
yeah, we have one. I haven't really tried it that much.
So
yeah, my husband uses it for work, so I'm gonna have to steal it.
Once you get started. So there he is. I've dragged him in. Now I use a silhouette. There's all kinds of machines to cut. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically a printer. So when you have a picture in your computer and you send it to the printer, the information miraculously comes out as a picture. Well, this is the same thing. You're sending the information to this machine, and instead of having a print head, well, it's a blade that cuts the design. So you press send, and you essentially are loading up a piece of plastic that looks exactly like this on the screen there. See that? That's like the mat. And you can put, whether it be stencil plastic or cardboard to cut your stencil. And then you need a black line to recognize the drawing. So I'm going to select my bunny here. Okay. And then I go trace, and then I can delete the drawing, and there's my bunny. And and now this is my cookie size. So I'm going to go in and kind of make sure that it's going to fit on the, here, let me zoom in so that it make sure it's going to fit, and I can actually just color it. I usually will color the design just so that I can see it more easily. And you can decide how, how tight you want it on the size. Right? Like sometimes you want it maybe a little smaller inside of the shape, the cookie that you're using. And usually I'll take a picture even of the cookie on the mat and drag that photo into the silhouette just to make sure that it's exactly the right size before I cut it. And if you know you're not going to be using the template for more than maybe one project, you don't have to use stencil material. You can use cardstock. It works fine. especially if you're using your airbrush or a marker, it doesn't wet it enough to damage it. It's not like when you're stenciling with icing, cardstock's not going to do the job.
I've had some of the cardstock for years that
With
I
airbrush.
with the airbrush, or just to trace the outlines with a little marker. It works great.
It stays fun, but icing not so much. It's like it's wet, and it obviously you can't wash it. And so yeah, so then after this is basically what I do, and then I'll show you it. I have it here. Let me where's my stop screen? There it is. And then go back to, where's my the other one? This one. Add to screen. Go back to this. Sorry, the dance of the screens. And so here are some other versions. So we have I did a little chick on the egg, a lamb. So he's kind of like, you know, the little bunnies kind of bunched up there.
Would you do the feet and the chick's wings as transfers if you were decorating?
Well, I actually did. I have this already made, the transfer. So the reasoning, though, I would have piped them on, but the reasoning is, so when I make my yellow icing, it's stiff. And then I make it flood. So I flood the cookie, but then I need the stiff icing. I need the stiff icing before I need the flood. So I pipe the stiff on parchment paper so that I could drop them in my flood icing. It's just a question of like order. If you don't have a lot of icing, let's say you're using a royal icing mix, how do you go back to the stiff, right? So that was kind of like why I did it. But this is not a complicated design. I think if you have plenty of icing, you could pipe it right on the cookie. The template is more just for if you want to have all your cookies like repeat really the same, right? Like templates are great for that, for repeating a design. Here are the templates cut. So you can see here the little chick.
So
and
cute.
The little bunny. And you can see here, when you don't have a transparent template, that's why I cut it, the perimeter, the egg shape, so that I can really align it properly on the cookie. Because if you can't see and you've got holes in a paper, how do you know where to place it? So this way you know exactly where to place it so that you're centered on the cookie.
It's fantastic. Hello, Mr. Spiegel.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, hello. So here I have the template, and you can kind of quickly either use a marker, and again, use a color that's not going to be impacting your, you don't want to have black marker.
How would you go if you wanted to use this particular template without anything else? How would you go about using it as an for the airbrushing, for the stencil? If you wanted to...
Well, I just lay a magnet on it so that it would blow off. And then I would just airbrush.
You can airbrush then, yeah.
Yeah. And then you can come in and fill, because I have them here. My parts, I made them yesterday. I can just show you quickly.
I just acknowledge this comment.
Just a recap.
This is so cute. Thank you. Oh, I love these.
Oh, that's great.
So you can just pop them on, and then you have your icing, you know, because that's the thing, the order. You make...
How fancy.
What's fancy?
It's a fancy chick.
It's a fancy chick? Oh, well, that's how, like, my chick's fancy.
I mean, it reminds me of what's the word?
I thought it just adds...
What's the word for the hairdo? Come on, it's
pompadour?
Yes. It does. Okay.
Just a way to get the order, you know what I mean, so that your thing can work. So that's it. So that's basically how I've showed it before, but that's basically how I make the templates. And if you don't have the tablet, you can draw in marker and then take a photo with your phone and then transfer that to the silhouette. It'll cut, as long as the line is black, like you can darken it with a Sharpie, it should do the job and cut it. But you just need it.
We do have a question. This is a good question. Karen is asking, it's about transfers. Do you tend to drop transfers into the flat icing or glue it to the dry? Which do you prefer?
Well, the thing is if you drop it right in, depending on what kind it is, you get like a really tight fuse that's less susceptible to cracking. So if you just glue a dry royal icing transfer on a dry base and you add a little bit of icing, well, let's say you stack with another one, that little transfer could crack. So it's just like a way to get it like more structurally, like really into that base one. But if you have like,
one thing we need to say though, if your base is dark, if this was a like you're making a black chick. So if it was like a dark colored icing and you're putting white transfer, then you need to put it on a dry icing, because if you stick it on wet, then the black, it will seep through, right? Unless, I mean, I don't know, maybe the wings are thick enough so it wouldn't, you know?
I think it would be a problem, but I haven't done it. The thing I thought about recently is if you flip your royal icing transfers upside down and you shellac them, and so you're basically sealing the seam, like, you know, that where they meet. So if you were, let's say this was black and I was dropping it into white icing or vice versa, you could, like I say, shellac your transfers underneath so it wouldn't show, but you're creating a barrier between the two.
And what would you use for that? Like a confectioner's glaze or something?
Yeah. That's like if let's say you were doing, like, for example, a scenario that I heard that somebody had made white royal icing labels for a wine bottle and then dropped the white square rectangle into this green icing. Well, it was not a good story. And so
I've had that happen with, imagine doing back in the day, I mean, I didn't know any better. So I did the scale of justice. Each scale I had as transfer white, and then I dropped them on blue, like royal blue. I remember I had to redo them all. So that was a lesson learned. And even I did pandas, and I had them as transfers, and I put them on light green, and it went through the white. But I guess it does matter how thick the transfer is also. But yeah, there is a fine line. Like, what is it that you can do with a transfer and how you can apply it onto the cookie, whether it's dry on dry or dry on wet, or you know, like Marlene was saying. I love the way you design.
Well, it's the way that, I guess, as for what we do, is the way that I can kind of offer the templates in a more kind of usable way for the audience, right? Like if people want to replicate a design, then they can like if they have a silhouette or a projector, because the templates can be used with a projector as well. It's kind of like the easiest way. Yeah, that's what I was referring to as the PME glaze. Like, you know, if you were really concerned about a large order that someone's paying for, I think that would be just a safety net that could possibly work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a pot, you know what I mean? Like if you're concerned about it, I mean, if you have a big order of 3, 4, 100 cookies for a wedding, safety nets are good.
Yeah.
Especially if you live in a place with humidity, right, where the drying time gets really impacted.
Yeah.
But I think really the fan, that's like, I need to get a good fan, because it does. I always had a fan, and it does. You don't realize when you have it, like it's just automatic. You know, like, oh, this is gonna be crusted in this long. But now I put it like, what's going on? It's not crusting or anything. So I have, yeah. So if you are just starting out, get a fan. It will help with the drying time. Oh, we have done plenty of those.
And we each have our own little, like Mar has her cookies.
Little.
We all have our Patreon, and where we kind of go through.
Yeah, we have YouTube channels where you can find a lot of different tutorials. Marlene's been the longest on YouTube, I think like 2000. 12, I think, almost 10 years, right? So if you go, you can find a lot of tutorials there. She's on Patreon. Amber is on Patreon. I'm on Patreon. You both also have Facebook groups where you teach.
I mean, at the end of the day, you just have to make a batch of icing and feel it. Like, you know what I mean? Like get your hands in it.
Do it. Yeah.
Just do it, because you can watch all the videos. You just have to, and I mean, you just allocate a day to it. You say, okay, I'm going to give it a shot, and then you can start perfecting.
Yeah,
We're still perfecting.
right. That's what we do.
You saw the what happened with my icing, the green icing. It was like, well, you know,
we've been doing that. Yeah.
But, I mean, you just go with it, you know. Jeremy, mwah. Thank you. It's so sweet. So yeah, we are still learning. I mean, aren't we? I mean, there's always something new that somebody comes up with. So we are always learning. Amber learned how to. She was using.
Oh yes.
Last week. So and she's been decorating
last Friday's live.
Yeah, over a decade. So there is always something new to tackle and to learn. So
and you can give yourself personal challenges. You know, it doesn't always have to be like you know, you can just say, well, I'm going to work at this particular thing, or you want to get better at a specific thing.
When you're training for a marathon, it takes 8 weeks. Okay, you don't go run a marathon. Like, I'm not gonna be able to run a marathon tomorrow. Obviously, I would, 500 meters, and I would be done. No, seriously. So take small steps and kind of acknowledge every step. I think be kind to yourself, because it can be tough.
And if your cookies are ugly, eat them. Nobody's gonna know.
Right? Yeah, that's the fun part.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry, Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's sucky.
How come it broke? That's.
Sometimes you get a dud. It does occur, right? Sometimes we do get dud, like whatever things,
And if there are any products or tools or anything that you want us to try, let us know, because there's lots of things out there, lots of gadgets and whatever.
This is funny for me because Han, didn't you grow up with the metric system?
Yes, I have, and I don't want to be rude, but I hate inches.
We are the only ones, aren't we? The only ones.
Inches. I can it's inch. Yeah, we were always told that inch it's about the size of your thumb, and then you have foot. It's about your forearm, and I do struggle. I have to say the temperature. It's the worst. The temperature is the worst.
Oh I can't do any
temperature. Today was. I don't want to say 26 degrees of Celsius. So you do the Fahrenheit thing.
26.
I have to Google it.
86 maybe.
It's a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day, but I grew up with metrics. I moved to US, lived there for 20 years, and so I know both. But like I said, the temperature I always kind of struggled. It was great, IKEA, because I funny enough, I actually brought IKEA measuring tapes because I was so concerned. Well, they are not gonna have, IKEA. They have them both everywhere. So I'm like, yeah. So yeah, we use both. Yeah, it is. How do you? Yes, drill. Oh, you mean on gingerbread cookies? Well, that's.
I think that the Dremel would be safer than a drill. Right, Han?
Yes, you have told it. Yes, I have to probably invest in that. It will be really cool to have a project to use something like that.
So June is saying it's 86. So that's why your icing separated. There's your answer right there. If it's 86,
it's too hot. So
I think that's the problem.
It's really difficult.
I think you're maybe going to have to get in the habit of putting it in the fridge a little bit more than maybe you did in the past.
Yeah, see, that's a lesson learned. Like I mean, you don't know until you experience it.
Yeah.
So maybe in the past I've got the question, why is my icing separating? Well, you know, maybe you're adding too much water, but maybe not that. Maybe it's the temperature as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
All right,
it.
guys. So what's next week? Do we have a plan?
I was thinking I might make my little Easter eggs.
Yay!
I guess I'll do an Easter thing next week.
Well, who's working? Is
Me,
it,
I am, because today
You
was
are.
my day off, so I must be next week.
Yeah, and here, let me look at the calendar. So next, am I off? I think I'm off. So it's
When am I gonna be off?
eh?
When am I?
You're off on the 5th of March.
When am I gonna be off? On 26th, I have really big plans.
Well, you better make some good cookies. Fit that into the plan.
What do you mean? Well, I guess I was off last week, wasn't I?
Yes, exactly.
I was off last week. So okay, so next week, so we're doing
So you're a little bit. I'm sorry to tell you, you're under the pressure because now today everybody loved it so much. You got to talk yourself.
I'm using this for the rest of the year, so I will be adding
Okay.
the cookie I'm going to be doing. So who is Amber is going to be on, and I will be on. So we're doing Easter.
Well, you can.
Sure. I love Easter. It's going to be fun.
Me too.
Yeah, I love Easter. Can you do cookie flip? I'm sorry. Can you do what does it mean? Cookie cutter flips. Oh, you mean like a cupcake cutter for Easter or Christmas tree for Easter?
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
You want to do that?
I might do watercolor because I just worked on some watercolor cookies for Easter, so maybe I'll do that.
So, Han, you have to use your Halloween cutters for Easter.
No, I don't. I would have to find them. I have 3 cutter. I know what I'm gonna do because a couple of weeks ago I was showing you how like very not as sophisticated as someone in the purple here, but I'm gonna be decorating this cutter.
Oh, okay. Yes, you had drawn him. Yeah.
So I think if I can find my airbrush, I will probably do something. We'll see. Maybe we'll do the skirt with the technique I showed today. We'll see how it works out. It might be cute.
You do have to let the icing dry overnight, basically, for the airbrush.
Actually,
8 hours.
Actually, no, you don't.
What do you mean?
Well, if you're not touching the surface.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be totally.
Yeah, she's been telling me this for I've had airbrush since 2013, and I always let them dry. She will airbrush it like right after she's icing it. I'm afraid.
Wow. I
But
mean,
you're not touching it. So let's say you were to airbrush, you flood, then you do a spray, and then you can actually do wet on wet.
okay, challenge accepted.
You don't have to wait.
Oh, Amber froze. Oh, okay. Challenging. Okay, maybe I will find my. Are you gonna be using airbrush? Maybe I'll find.
I don't know. Maybe
if I can find my airbrush somewhere, I might use an airbrush. Hopefully it works. Because I think what are we calling this? Pleated?
Yeah.
Oh, aren't pleated skirts in again? They are, aren't they?
I don't know. I'm not wearing one. That's all I can tell you.
I'm not wearing one, but I remember when I was younger. So this could be a pleated skirt. So if I airbrush this could look cool as well. All right. So if I can find my airbrush, I will use an airbrush.
Oh, this would be a good one, I think.
Edible Ace.
For a future, not necessarily.
Not next week, yes. Marlon is nodding.
It's a good one for Easter. It is nice for like Easter designs, right?
All right. Yes. Hani will use her snow globe. Yes. Well, snow globe is universal. I mean, oftentimes because Easter is so early, it may. I don't want to jinx it for anyone, but it actually still might snow.
Oh, absolutely. We've had snow for Easter. No, one of my first videos I did a gingerbread house that had tulips and snow, and everybody's like, there can't be tulips and snow. Actually, yes, you could have tulips.
Yes, so imagine like snows and daffodils and maybe like a little bunny. I don't know. Our bunnies are still hidden, right? When it's snowing.
No, they're out all winter, bunnies.
Oh, lampshade. Okay, that's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because people will be looking for for cookies on Easter Sunday. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Next week. Have a great weekend.
Yes.
Be good.
Yeah.
Why? That's no fun.